it seems that the military just continues to continue to chip away at service members' pay on multiple fronts. Yes, is this one massive wave across every little thing? No, but we have to see signs that this is happening little by little by little, and eventually it's going to be like, who wants to even join the military, stay in the military, unless they're getting this $50,000 bonus? And that's because we're seeing some new news out of Hawaii that they're taking away pay in one of the most high cost of living areas in the entire nation. So this was released, and I saw on Reddit, and it's a memorandum from the Chief of Staff, United States Indo-Pacific Command, and it's from the subject, Overseas Cost of Living Allowance for Hawaii. Now, to give context here, sorry, I'll click away, it says, here we go. The cost of living in the continental United States is a taxable supplemental allowance designed to help offset expenses for service members assigned to expensive CONUS areas and in areas considered high cost if the non-housing cost of living for that area exceeds a threshold of 108%. Now, I didn't think I had to go over this, but the most expensive places to live state-wise, Hawaii, New York, California, Alaska. Okay, we accept that. I checked the zip code at which Pearl Harbor is at, which is 96860, which if you go down here and you type that in, 2023 E3, they're going to get $3,084 in pay for their housing allowance. Now, also, let's look at the price comparison of gas, because that's what COLA is supposed to be factored into. $3.15 is the national average, where Hawaii's is $5.11. And the person releasing this is the deputy here for the Secretary of Defense, Thomas A. Constable. He signs off on this. And I was like, let me see if this guy's even military. It looks like he was. He is a retired soldier that enlisted in the Army in 1987 and later commissioned as an officer in the field artillery and retired from active duty in 2008. So in my thought process, I thought this guy would have a lot more knowledge and understanding of what it means to retire from the U.S. military and what it takes to have a paycheck. But this is all what we're going to go into, because those factors will culminate into what was produced in this letter that I think is important, because pay is pay, money is money, whether you put it as far as a cost of living allowance, a basic housing allowance, money coming into the military members' pockets is what is going to matter. Here it says, effective January 1st, 2023, the temporary pause reductions in overseas cost of living allowance, OCOLA, for Hawaii will end. By the way, I think Hawaii and maybe some other smaller places were receiving cost of living allowance because obviously it's so high, where normally people just sell this overseas. So it says service members in these areas will see the first decrease in OCOLA in their paychecks as of January 13th, 2023. Weird date, because 1st and 15th is when we get paid. I don't know if that's to act it from that date. I'm not really sure. But it says to mitigate steep decreases to household income, implementation of the calculated rates will be limited to 2 index points per month, meaning that they are going to take 2 sampled points, as this is a living, breathing, cost of living is not the same from day to day even, right? So they're saying that they're going to have these 2 points until the calculated OCOLA rates have been reached, meaning no matter what, it's going to be decreased to a certain amount. It says communicating this change to your affected forces should begin now so that service members and their families can plan accordingly. I recommend you also refer them to Military One Source. Now, I'll commend Military One Source does have resources and things that people can look at as far as financial budgeting, things like that. These are hard economic times, but of course we will defer and push over to another side to allow this third party that I understand, from my understanding, they are not actually military affiliated. So hopefully they are there to embrace and assist what I think will be a shockwave to the Hawaii families. It says, I am very pleased to see that you initiated your living pattern survey, which I'm sure was a survey where people said how much they spent on gas, food, bills, whatever else, and says scheduled for 1 to 30 November. This information is essential to conduct a reevaluation of COLA rates for Hawaii. Once you have completed these surveys and submitted the data to the Assistant Secretary of Defense, Manpower and Reserve Affairs, the staff we will expedite our subsequent retail price schedule and analysis and update the OCOLA rates for Hawaii. Please note that there is no monthly limit to increases to OCOLA. Therefore, survey results and analysis that demonstrate a need for updated higher OCOLA will be implemented immediately following that determination. I do say that's good. they've annotated if there's a shocking increase, they will adjust for that. But it says, as we continue our work together, I don't think anyone was really optioning to work together when it came to this decrease in pay, as we're seeing a recession and we're seeing inflation rates through the sky, that nobody in the U.S. general population, including military members, was asking people to just churn and burn money from the reserve. But okay, it says, as we work together, my staff stands ready to assist yours in any way possible. In the coming weeks, a senior member of my staff will visit your team to listen to concerns and collect ideas as we consider updates to the OCOLA process. Further, I offer you and your leadership team to virtual seminar on OCOLA, because I guess people don't understand the idea of you're getting less money, but having somebody smile as they tell you that is probably important. Hosted by our military compensation experts, focusing on aspects that are more often misunderstood. So let's also insult the intelligence of military members and their families. Finally, you and your and your J1 are invited to participate in the workforce management group on this topic on 8 November, hosted by the Deputy Undersecretary of Defense for Personnel Readiness. We would like to hear your ideas. There's only so many dollars on a tree, right? This stuff doesn't just grow out of thin air. So you can't money. I love money because it's black, it's white, it's there, it's not. It makes sense, it doesn't make sense. It's factually based that we all understand these basic maths. This is addition, subtraction. This is not even talking about interest and compounding and all these other aspects that happen, which are far more complicated than what we're talking about of basic less money, more money, bad. That's it. Thank you again for teaming with us on a way forward for OCOLA. I think there's a one-sided team here. I'm confident we will make a positive difference that will benefit those beyond Hawaii. I don't think that's the case, because Hawaii is a tiny state at which none of the rest of the country is going to really understand, unless you're talking about like San Diego, California, or bases that are very close to some of these major metropolitan areas that are probably affected by this. But I'll say for the most part, not many bases are in that majority. So Hawaii, I would say, is more of an outlier of some kind of experience than the rest of the military. Also, do I want to just mention why it was so important, why we had Pearl Harbor? Like, are you asking us not to make this a thing because Pearl Harbor was a place where that was attacked December 7th, 1941, is a powerhouse projection of power that can launch ships, submarines, aircraft from that area to get to Guam, to the Pacific? My God, it's almost like it's not a strategic point. And the fact that trying to get people to go there anyway, I guess you're hoping the weather is the only thing that's going to make them keep coming back. Like I said, when it came to payment and housing, $3,084, cost of living, I think rent is the thing that most people understand. Expensive, sucks. You know, gas and price of groceries, we can't really get into that. But cost of living allowance in general. Now, this made me want to jump over to military.com, but just posted this actually, where they're saying an E1 with dependents receives the rate for the midpoint between the cost of a 2-bedroom apartment and 2-bedroom townhouse. And I said, what does Nicky do best? Common sense. Let's break this down. So I wanted to check into this. So I'm going to remove my filters here, but let's do more filters because I think that's important to filter this out. So bedroom, we're saying a 2-bedroom, and we'll put apartments and townhomes. Okay, done. And I just filtered it to that. Now let's go to price. And remember, it was $3,000 for the max that they're going to get. So now you're looking at a very minimal amount here as far as that goes, which these are 2 bedrooms. I'm not sure how good they are, but I'm only seeing a few, by the way, with inflation, everything going on. I don't know if these are going to have wait lists or any availability, as people are trying to, put their names on lists months ahead of time. So they're still going to be in the higher end of this if they are to do that, which you have to include utilities, you have to include gas, you have to include trash, whatever else that comes along with this, on top of gas and things like that. So the military members that are out there are not going to be making a lot of money. They're going to be spending most of it and dumping it into the Pearl Harbor community, which, obviously is good for the community, but I don't think that the military members are going to have much wiggle room to save money, prepare for stressors in life issues, right? If you come down here, you can see the comments on Reddit. Real glad I passed on those Hawaii orders, and I think a lot of people are going to because cost of living. And here I am checking into my Hawaii Station Command on January 4th. Yep. So it's checking next week. RIP. Everybody sees what's happening. Why is it that our first place, the Navy, and I should say Department of Defense, looks to save money is the member's paycheck? And that is because, ladies and gentlemen, we should understand mission first, as one of my friends says, contracts and civilians are second and military are last. That is how that priority goes. And so if you can shave a penny here or there from the military members that are having to fulfill, I would say, a very strategic place, God forbid, you're going to have a hard time getting anyone to want to come out here. Everyone's just going to be buying houses and trying to stay as centrally located as possible. But I don't want to continue my rant any further. You guys know how passionate I am about this and where I see this going. And I hope there is some voice from you guys out there that is voicing and advocating as much as possible, because I know there's people out there that currently have kids. Maybe they have a mom or dad they're taking care of. And these stressors are not things that we're anticipating, as they could be lower rank. I don't want to just assume everybody is E6 plus and able to handle these life stressors. But please let me know if you guys like these topics and you want me to cover anything else. You can always hit me up over on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, or down in the comments below. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.